Who is it? Vinny!
Hey, dude, are you there?
Hey, what's up,
I'm
my
here,
brother?
man.
How are you,
Dude,
man?
I don't have a scary story, man.
I was like, I'm gonna have pretty much a heart attack. I'm like having a heart attack, but I can't scream or anything. Basically, laying on the floor, panicking.
Oh!
No, you weren't. You built the place. I haven't seen the Hopi in thousands of years. Don't make fun of my people. Period.
Sorry,
I'll pull
grandfather.
out your ass and cut you up into little bitty bits.
Facebook page down because people said Richie from Boston's gay. He's gay. I'm gay. I'm a gay man.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, you can prosecute me for that if you like.
No, it's not why I'm doing that. I'm just saying there's a lot of...
But here's what you did. Bigelow started buying websites, including one in British Columbia, Canada. So all of a sudden, this kind of triggered Brian Vike.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. We've got a special report for you. We've got a few UFO videos that we want to share with you.
Welcome back, everybody. Blake Cousins, along with Orlando Smith and Brent Cousins, we're going to be going over incredible imagery.
Third phase of moon. Third phase of moon.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah.
All right, everybody. Welcome to GUFON. I am your host, Rick Georgiajo, and it is the 20th of May on a Tuesday, 2025. Thank you for sitting through the intro. Juicy fruit. A movie. So here we are, starting another week of UFO talk in the UFO world. Now, there have been some incidences that have happened since we've last spoken. And one of them is a UFO colliding with a plane, helicopter, right? Huh. Why am I laughing? Because it's fun. Isn't this fun? First time in a long time. Or is it ever that an airplane has been... No, there have been reports and pictures of airplanes that had their nose caved in by something. Yeah. They do get hit by birds. Yeah, there are some birds, I don't know if it's a geese, a duck, a swan, that can fly very high. And, yeah, they get hit. Especially if they're in that V formation. Right? It's hard to get out of the way of a jet. Feathers. And then when the plane lands, you see the blood, and the remnants of what could have been a duck, a quail, a bird, but they know. They they see. They know what the claws are to what bird it goes to. Was it a hawk? No. What did I just see? Oh my God. Aw, chicken coop. $20. We haven't had a $20 in months. Thank you. Wow. I can't say it enough. If you want to support Truthology for ufology, because we do, we give it out the way I think. And I know a lot of people look at me and they hear me ranting and raving like a lunatic. And it throws them off. It makes them think I'm just doing this because I just want attention. It's not true. I am this way. Ask anybody that actually knows me. Not all the time. I mean, I'm not going to embarrass my family and friends in public, but at the appropriate times, the right things would be said from me. And I appreciate that Chicken Coop Confidential gets it, understands it, and is able to help out monetarily, considering the climate nowadays and this day and age, the way things are. The economy's not there yet, but it'll take another year or so. It may take 3 years, 4 years before we start seeing, it all come back. I mean, what happened in that last administration really put us behind. Bad. Bad. That's why they let Trump win. And I believe everything we've seen and went through was done on purpose. Obviously it was. But I mean, with intent to raise prices to a level without a slow, gradual increase. They did it all at once. And then they brought in outsiders, opened up the borders, and flooded the country with 20, 30 million people. And where did all that money that was supposed to go to us go to? So I don't know how people on the left don't see that. I think they do. They just they don't realize how bad it is. And that's what Doge is for. And Doge, Elon Musk is running that whole thing. Thank God. He's a businessman. These are business people. They don't have to be elected to be appointed to work in the White House to save the country. Chicken Coop Confidential understands that. that way of thinking was brought into ufology back in 2016 when Trump ran for president the first time. That's when ufology changed its course from old school way of doing things, Dolan, Greer, Linda Moulton Howdy Doody ways. All those old ways we used to do things, just talk about it, right? And then we had the hoaxers, the liars, the cheaters. But this changed the last 10 years, a generation almost, was changed in a way that is irreparable right now. And Chicken Coop Confidential sees that. Thank you very much for supporting this way of thinking. And I don't think what I think is crazy at all. I think what I'm thinking is somewhere. I don't know everything. Nobody does. Nobody can. In the last 10 years, they have literally confused the hell out of everybody. It was done on purpose. Off-world vehicles. Oops, didn't mean it. Redact. Make believe it never happened. That was a game. And Chicken Coop Confidential sees it. I don't know. If I were you, I'd match that 20. and double it up. I tell you, if we could do that every day, it would be good. It would be good for GUFON, for ufology. Who's here tonight? Thank you, Chicken Coop Confidential, for the 20. Whew! All right, everybody. Hold on. Sky Allen's here. How you doing? Ben, the Yorkshire Gufonian. Kelly Lewis, the EW is here. Brian Yates. What does he say, big guy? What's up, Samo? How you doing? Thor Panku. How you doing? Gyro, what do you say? How do you be? Ozzy Boss Tiger. I like it. I like it a lot. What's up? And Chicken Coop. How you doing? Aliyah. How you doing? David Wilcox, not Wilcox. How you doing? It's 7 o'clock. Hey, Rich. Lead Food. What's up there? The Big L Foot. All right. If I didn't say your name, it doesn't mean, I don't love you. Zach Diecast Malt. How you doing, Chief? Welcome. UFO 91. How you doing? Good to see the peeps. Good to see the peeps. It's all good. It's all good. Who? Who? Annette. What about her? No, I didn't see her. Probably sleeping. It's only 5 hours ahead. Right? What is it now over there? Midnight. Yeah. Poor Jeanette. She's been coming here for the last couple of years. Right? It's okay. The show's on replay. How you doing, man? How you doing, everybody? All right, let's get going. Hold on. Gotta check something here. I worked out before the show. I got done 5:30, an hour and a half before we're supposed to start. And I usually drink or eat something, but I wasn't hungry. And I usually have my weight gain drink, but I ran out of it and I forgot. Oh, I forgot to order it. So I had to order it. So I haven't eaten. I'm a little shaky. I believe it or not, I have Tang. Tang helps me when I didn't eat. I'm gonna eat right after the show. Don't worry about it. But I am a little shaky. I never realized that. My blood sugar was normal, so it was close to normal. I still took the shot. I was at 144. It was close. So I take the shot. Probably lowered my blood sugar, but my insulin takes a few hours before it starts working good. It's long acting, once a day, plus vitamins. All right, so enough about me. Oh, yeah, so I was talking about what has happened in the last few days in ufology. The UFO hit a plane. Let me pull it up. Hey. And also, we're going to talk about how the CIA declassifies a book which claims end of the world predictions by Jesus Christ himself. Why did they declassify it now? Why? And we're going to listen to part 3 of The Immaculate Constellation. A whistleblower honors his oath on weaponized. Part 3. I haven't listened to it because I forgot. So we'll listen to it tonight a little bit here and there. Also, the mystical streak that was seen in the sky. And that, people automatically go, oh, it's a rocket launch. Well, no. This streak apparently was a little different. But was it a rocket launch? Or was it the side swiping of the sun solar burst, whatever the hell it was? Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't know how. I guess I was sleeping. Yeah, I have, now that I've been getting my blood sugar under control, I've been sleeping. Yeah, I don't feel as tired, I noticed too, which is good. But it takes me a while to wake up sometimes. Like, I won't. Anyway, let me get to this. I forget. I don't know why I want to talk about me all the time. All of a sudden, me. Ah, oh my God! The show. All my stuff just popped up. I didn't say anything because I didn't want you to know that I uploaded all the information for tonight's show and it's not here. So I hit refresh just out of a habit and all of my stuff appeared. Oh, I was so happy. I know I uploaded it all. But why does it take a refresh to bring one? To bring up 14 things that I chose to talk about. I won't talk about them all, but it's weird. I want to show you this mystery streak in the sky, this beam that everybody was so giddy over. Hold on. Let me move it on up. Move it on up to. My hands are shaking. I can't move the mouse. My hand was going like this. Oh, that is so bizarre. Yeah, I feel fine in my head, but my hands are shaky. All right, here we go. Let me drink some Tang. Tang-a-lang-a bing bong. What's up, DK? Derek Kennedy's in the house raging against Machine. Hey, Jeanette. Everybody was just praying about you. Everybody thought you were dead. No, I'm kidding. This is a joke. How you doing, Raging? Metalhead, how you doing? So here it is. Stargazers across the U.S. been baffled by a mysterious beam of light streaking through the sky around midnight, Saturday, 17th. A glowing streak was visible above the U.S. far south to New Mexico. With the aura active after a surprise geomagnetic storm, many people initially thought the streak was Steve, a white mauve light emitted by rivers of charged particles. However, astronomers now have revealed the true explanation for this brazier phenomenon. A bizarre phenomenon. According to Dr. Jonathan McDowell, an astronomer who tracks objects in space, the light was caused by a rocket dumping fuel. Just an hour or so before the light became visible, Chinese startup Land Space Technology launched a methane and oxygen-fueled Zhuk-2EY2 rocket. Dr. McDowell says the most likely source of the light was this rocket second stage, releasing its Methalox rocket fuel at about 155 miles, 250 kilometers above the ground. Once released into space, the chemicals in the fuel will react with plasma in the Earth's ionosphere to create an eerie whitish glow, just like the one seen above the U.S. Fascinating. Ooh, scary. You know, how many times are we going to get tricked? Lied to, and tricked. Yeah. We always know what this is from here on for the rest of our lives, yeah? There it is. Everybody knew. Anyway, that's what it was. It's pretty, though. You know, if you've seen this, middle of the night, like, whoa, what the? Are we being attacked by a laser weapon? No. No such luck. When will it happen? Jesus might know. He's the big prophet with the yellow glow. It's JC and the boys. Yes, that's right. You heard it here second. Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior of the whatever you believe in there, apparently is a prophet. The CIA, the Central Intelligence Administration. Intelligence? What is that? Central Intelligence Agency Administration. Well, they declassified a book that says JC, also known as Jesus Christ, predicted the end of days. You know that big cataclysmic thing with Noah and the flood? That one. Isn't Jesus just a made up dude that has been used, right? That story has been used so many times, the one with Jesus. And he goes by many different names. So why is this being taken so darn seriously, man? Richard, it's the Bible. Does you take this Bible seriously? I don't know. Predicting? How do you know? Does it say Jesus was here, predicted, 2001, whatever? No. There's nothing that says that I have seen, but everybody's saying that Jesus made this prediction. Let me pull it up. Jesus. Where'd it go? Oh, I thought I lost it. Here we go. Let me bring it on up and show my peeps what's going on. This is from Newsbreak that is on my phone that I use. I love Newsbreak. I love it. I get updates all day long, and some of them are just like, whoa, I'm glad I have that, All right, here it is. So, declassified documents from the CIA archives have released a mysterious book titled The Adam and Eve Story, written by John Thomas in 1966, 59 years ago. The book was discovered in a packet containing a Time magazine article, a transmittal slip, and a list of everyday items like a toolbox and tire gauges. Thomas, a UFO researcher who worked with the U.S. Air Force, made several extraordinary claims in the book, including that the world undergoes cyclical pole shifts that wipe out civilizations every 7,000 years. Underneath the blue, where it says Paul McCartney's savage 3-word put down of Donald Trump, underneath that in black and white, according to Thomas, this cataclysmic event has been predicted by various figures throughout history, including Jesus, who is portrayed not as a prophetic figure, but as a scholar trained in India. Thomas also claims that Jesus attempted to prepare people for the end of times, with the last cataclysm, being Noah's flood. Flood. The CIA's reasons for classifying this text and the accompanying items are unclear, but its resurfacing in 2019 has sparked conspiracy theories. The book appears to have been given as a gift to someone, with a handwritten note on the front reading, "For Art L," followed by a redacted name. Thomas asserts that he has deciphered Jesus' final words on the cross, suggesting that Jesus was actually speaking in a language he learned in India, where he said, "I am fainting, I am fainting. Darkness is overcoming me," reports the Daily Star. He also suggests that on Easter Sunday, when Jesus is believed to have ascended to heaven, he was actually taken aboard a space vehicle. The title of his book, The Adam and Eve Story, stems from Thomas's interpretation that the Genesis story is actually an allegory about the downfall of previous civilization during an extinction event prior to Noah's flood. Wow. He proposes the existence of null zones in the Milky Way that our solar system passes through every few thousand years, causing catastrophic changes to Earth as the poles shift. However, none of Thomas's assertions in his book are supported by contemporary understanding of history or science. Despite making such a series of outrageous claims, the CIA's peculiarly classified book becomes even more bizarre. When you dive into Thomas's background, it gets crazy. It's thought that Thomas was part of a team hired by aerospace company McDonnell Douglas under Dr. Robert Wood, who has since becoming a leading expert in the UFOs with MUFON. I can't speak. Hey, Dorothy. Thank you for becoming a member. Who was that? Who did that? Where is it? No, I don't have any mods that are women. Have you noticed that? Yeah. No women mods. Nah, I didn't do that on purpose. But I talked to Jeanette about that. Jeanette knows. Wood mentions Thomas in 2007 article as one of the men he hired to research UFOs. He characterizes the author as an exceptionally innovative individual who claims to be in contact with ETs. Who was that just became a member? Well, thank you very much for becoming a member, whoever that was. I don't see it here on my end. Let me see if it showed up over here. Hold on. That is so bizarre. Richie Gray is retracting his messages. Why? Why, Richie Gray? I don't see it. I don't see who that was, but I want to thank you. That's weird. New England Dirt Roadie, how you doing? The truth came out in 1975. Earth is banana-shaped. Earth is an odd shape, my friend. Like, see this guy over here on the screen? Like that. Yeah, like a pear. A parrot. I don't want to say it. I'm being nice. All right. Well, there are records from WorldCat show the peculiar book by Thomas was first published in 1963, then again in 1965, and eventually making its way into the CIA archives by 1966. The book fell into obscurity until it resurfaced and saw publication once more in 1993, after which it hasn't been republished. Nonetheless, complete editions are accessible online. This year, conspiracy-themed internet forums have discovered the book, inaccurately circulating the CIA version as a banned text. And Google Trends data shows that interest in Thomas and his enigmatic book spiked by an astonishing 700%. Adding to the mystery is the backstory of the author, who was connected to a UFO-related project with the U.S. Air Force and wrote this bizarre book that landed in top-secret files. Thomas opens his book by thanking various high-ranking U.S. military officials, suggesting without their support, this book might not exist. Among those he acknowledges, including U.S. Air Force General Curtis LeMay, famous for the Cold War era, quote, bomb them back to the Stone Age. He also gave nods to U.S. Air Force General Harold Grant, head of communications, and Admiral Rufus Taylor, an intelligence officer who later joined the CIA. The reasons for the dedications to these military leaders in Thomas's book remain unexplained. coupled with a note of gratitude to the joint staff of that time for their inspiring encouragement. Weird. Wrapping up his foreword, Thomas addresses those who ridiculed him, stating, "To all those who ridiculed, scorned, and laughed, relegating me to the nut house and even firing me. For how else would I have been so driven to pursue, solve, and derive the truth? I owe them." You see what happens when you have passionate people who believe in what they're doing, and you can only hold them down. Rock singer dead at 32 as band release. Heartbreaking tribute. Who died at 32? Adam Ramey, the lead vocalist and founding member of the rap metal band Dropout Kings, has died at the age of 32. Shocker. That is sad. That's young dudettes. I don't know what's going on. I don't see any messages that popped in. It's making the noise like there's messages coming in, but they ain't. But that is an interesting little book that made it. Why did it make its way to the CIA, I wonder? Is there something that they don't want us to know about? Are we about to have an end of days scenario? Could that be why the last couple of years were so just like print money, let people come into America, enjoy life for the last years left on the planet? Was that like, forget your debt, forget about even living. Go ahead, go to the streets and do your drugs. Go ahead, take over Portland. We don't need downtown. We don't need the district. Business, capitalism. Are you kidding me? In this part of the world, nobody. What are you doing? Well, they're selling water. So how much are you selling them for? $1 a bottle. How much did you pay for them? Well, the whole thing was $12 for 60 of these. So you're making a profit. Well, I wouldn't really call it a profit. It's going back into more water. I love people. I love people. I love the complexity of the people. I love the way people think. They're so smart, including me. I do stupid things thinking I'm smart. We all do. That's how you learn. And what have we learned growing up about Jesus? He has long hair. That's right. He was a carpenter. He had very clean feet for wearing those sandals, especially back in those days, right? What we learn about Jesus, if he's real, I have a hard time with the story. I do. There might have been a guy. Okay, you know that what is that? The shawl, the thing that has this apparent imprint of his face. The shroud of Turin. What is it? It's not even. It wasn't a guy who was dead. It was from a guy who was alive, right? That's where that. It's not even Jesus. The imprint. Oh yeah, and it looks like the white one we see in all the Americanized versions of Jesus. So funny. Do you know Spielberg's coming out with a new UFO movie? Have you heard about it? Mm-hmm. Steven Spielberg allegedly is privy to insider knowledge and maybe using it for his new film titled Disclosure. Yeah. After screening Close Encounters of the Third Kind for President Reagan at the White House, Reagan reportedly stood and declared that several people in the room knew everything Crazy. Yeah, I know. I wish I could play this interview from The Late Show. Damn it. Spielberg's funny. Well, anyway. Yeah, I can't wait for that. I don't know. Next year it's coming out, I think. Or Christmas. I don't know. But they haven't even, yeah, it's not even ready. I want to show you this UFO sighting, though. But should we be worried? You know, is there something happening? Because look, if you think about twice a year, we go through the remnants of those asteroids, those the Ilioid meteor shower, and the other one, there's Perseoid, something like that. Well, there's a couple of them. And I'm afraid one year we're going to go through that place and one big, it doesn't have to be like a planet killer. I'm talking a city will be destroyed. You know what I mean? And maybe not. It could be anywhere in the world. But that is going to suck. And I'm surprised in my 57 years on this planet, we haven't been. We've had it close. Remember Russia in 2012? Holy shit, that was awesome and scary and everything else. I don't think we looked at this the other day when I did the members show, but I want to show you this anyway. They're claiming this is a humanoid. Oh, yeah, Norm passed away from Cheers. 76 years old. John Goodman, right? Ah, it was kind of like unexpected, but yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll find out more. His family's keeping silent right now, but I'm sure he wasn't healthy most of his life. He was a big man, but that sucks. Yeah, I don't like to see that. 76, that's so average. Here we go. So this is your typical balloon deflation. It's a bunch of balloons. They've taken the shape, the form of a blob in the sky that, like, from a distance looks like a humanoid shape. Look at it wobble. I mean, you pause it and you don't have anything there except for balloons. It's turning, it's twisting, the wind is doing its job. Look how fast it's going in the wind. And I guarantee that the trees are blowing from right to left on the ground. But we'll see. Oh, yeah, they are. You can see the palm trees. That's why he's keeping the palm trees out of view. Did you see that? You see, now he's zooming in the lower it gets. You see, he look. He goes, oh, shit, the palm trees. I don't want people to know. Right? Right here. He realized it, and he goes, oh, no. I don't want them to see the wind. What a dick. God, this is why I'm me. This is why I'm so good at this. Now you know he knows it's balloons, but I'm not going to show people the good stuff. The trees blowing. I'm not showing. I'm going to keep it a little blurry so you don't even see. That bird almost killed himself. Oh, it's going back up. Oh, my God. It's got to breathe. What do you think happens when it gets towards the coast or lower to the ground? Of course, there's swirling winds. Bonehead. Look at it wobble back and forth. And this is why my humanoid sighting is the best one in history of time. Mine didn't wobble, weeble, or wooble. It was static, just like the jellyfish. I may have had a humanoidal fish. Look at this thing. Can you believe the amount of time that goes into recording balloons? Can you believe it? And he keeps it blurry on purpose. You know why. You know why. Because I don't want nobody to tell us what it is. All right, we get it? Here, watch. Let's see if he tries to hide other stuff. That's gotta be. Yeah. Hey, the UFO's going in between buildings. Nobody else is getting it on video. Oh my God, somebody must be getting abducted. I hope they're okay in those buildings. Where did it go? My godness. Stupid. That's got to be one of the worst I've ever seen. Yes, I enjoyed doing that for you. I enjoyed playing it. I enjoyed narrating it. All right. There's a new TV show coming out called The Whistleblowers. Have you heard about it? Well, let me show you the, this episode is called Too Legit to Skiff. Too legit to skiff. Yes. Let me see something. I don't know if I could play this because the music's. What the frog. There's nothing bad. I can play it. 5, 4, 3, 2, legit to skiff. And from Chupacabra on X. Gush.
Ah, geez, I'm sorry, Brother Luna. I wish I could make it to the skiff. I'm just too sick.
Oh, it's okay, Lou. I just hope you start feeling better. You know, we need you for that skiff, buddy.
Okay, Brother Luna. I'll let you know when I'm back in action. Whoa, what's going on? Oh, no, whoa, fucking shit.
Lou?
Whoa, fucking fuck. Oh, I'm gonna need a Chardonnay after this. Fuck.
Lou? Lou?
Stupid. I gotta give him the A for the effort. Hey, come on, they tried. It's not easy being funny. All right, I want to show you this UFO sighting. This one is a few years ago, about 4 years ago, there was a UFO sighting, and this reminds me of it. As a matter of fact, I think this is it. And I also am not sure if this is a hoax. You know, when people say it's too good to be true? Here you go. This is that. Ready? In 3, 2, a goo. What do you think? Legit? Too legit to skiff? What do you guys think? Look at the shape of it, the color, and look at the shape and the color of these things. It looks just like this, but reversed. Right? Look how close it got to it. I don't know. Isn't that a perfect fit? Right? I'm telling you, it's not real. Whoever did this. There you go. They took one of these and they just duplicated it. They cut it out. Then they reversed it. They turned it around. So they made this part white and this part black. And they gave us this. Boops, right out of it. I debunked that. Isn't that nice? Yeah, nobody else did. I remember that. I think Third Phase did something on that. But I remember maybe you're right. I'm like, of course I'm right. I love that one. Because it's very clever. And they left it like an Easter egg, you know? You'll figure it out. Oh, yeah. Oh, here is an orb or a sphere that was recorded in 2008. Now, there's no sound in this, but it's from the UK, and we've got a few peeps here from the UK. Some of you will remember this as the defining moment in sphere videography. And this video changed everything, because this is when the spheres started to be more looky like thisy. No sound, just remember, it's not my fault. No sound. Maybe I'll bring up some music. You want some music? I can bring music in. Yeah, we got some background audio, maybe. How about this? Horror? You want to be scared? How about, we'll just do this. This one here. Yeah. Yeah. I'm all out with my UFO skills, going up and down vertical hills. I can't see what I'm looking to be, just something round as could be. Stupid. Me, you, a sphere in the sky. Everybody thinks they've got 20/20. I can't believe what's there. I'm losing my hair. Over there. Yeah. It's spheres. Jaime Maussan, no fears. Comes down from the north. He thinks he's Peter North, coming out with this thing out like he's some porno man in the sky with his round sphere eye. Could this be another guy? It's spheres from the sky. They're coming down in your eye. Eater Peter Pumpkin Eater had a wife. He loved to eat her. There's a sphere in the sky. Do you see it with your 20/20 eye? Stop. Halt. Don't you fly. Don't be an... Hey, he's gone. Say word. Yeah. That was a good one. But I think that was fake. But that was the beginning. And that with that video. That video was the beginning of all the spheres we have now today. And the one that was for lack of a better term, captured. The thing okay. You know the one that they just scooped up, it was sitting on the ground, they recorded it for a few minutes. And then they go and pick it up, and the thing never flew again. I call bullshit out on that. That whole Jaime Maussan sphere thing. I call bullshit on the whole thing. The whole thing. You have to. You have to, my friends. Thursday, Jon Stewart, Whistleblower, is going to be here. And we're going to pick his brain about Lou Eliganzo and what he found out in his investigation into him in the last year. See, now this is going to be so interesting. For me, anyway. I don't know about you. But I am extremely excited about Thursday's show on GUFON. Tomorrow on Rich Saves America, Nathan from the Quantum Show is going to be a guest and talk about his possible unlawful arrest. We're going to analyze and scrutinize, see what the hell happened. Why would Nathan be arrested? Do you know Nathan doesn't break the law? Or did he? We'll find out tomorrow at 7 p.m. on RSA. All right, let's get back to work. Oh, yeah, I forgot to play. Can I just play this just for a goof? Jacques Vallée on his lunch with Steven Spielberg. Can I do this? Mm-hmm. This is just a clip. 40 seconds of pure... No, I'll be nice. Pure stupidity.
So
What an idiot. I mean, it doesn't get any worse. Oh, there's more.
we had
Je voudrais goûter au voir. Je me plais couper.
we had
Oui, oui, oui,
we had we
I'm a win. Win.
We had an enjoyable couple of lunches actually, and he said that one of the and I gave him some of the actual incidents that I had researched, and there is one where the witness saw a UFO at a crossroad, and there was a road panel there that started vibrating when the object was above. And that's one of the scenes that made it into the movie, showing the physical effect of the force from whatever is coming. So we
Ooh, you're so intelligent. You thought of vibrating objects as a big spaceship nears. You know, when I watch Star Wars, in the very opening, you know, the credits where the big Star Destroyer is there coming across the screen and your seats shook. Remember that? And it was going after the little the little spaceship that had R2-D2 and C-3PO in it. You remember? That's all he's doing is just reliving that. It was such an original idea, they put it in the movie. Stoop. Taking credit for that. Yeah, earlier in the show I said there was a Air Force F-16 that was struck in midair by a glowing orange-white object over Arizona in 2023. It cracked the jet's canopy and grounded the plane, and it wasn't alone. The next day, pilots reported 3 more orange orbs. Yep, they saw them near military training zones. They say some fly in packs of up to 8. And out of 757 airborne UFO incidences reported in 2023, only 49 have been officially closed. Officials say the tech could be cartel-operated drones. Small, fast, and nearly untraceable. Others aren't so sure. Did you? So you mean, excuse me, so you mean to tell me that the highest, the most, and the best. We have the highest cost for military needed funds, right? And we have the best of the best, allegedly. See, here's the thing I don't like. I don't understand. So the cartel has drones that can outmaneuver our best technology? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you want me to believe? You want me to believe the cartel are using superior drone technology to get away from the best of the best of the best of the best? Come on, man. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Judge Judy. That's what that is right there. A UFO hits a $63 million fighter jet over Arizona. Did you hear about it? I didn't hear about it. Anybody hear about it? Nobody heard about it. Nope. I didn't know. No. There's got to be video. How many people here want to How many people here think there's video? How many people here know there's video? And how many people believe the government's covering it up even though they told us it happened? All hands on the up position. Thumbs up. Of course they're hiding it from us. Can you imagine? For the first time in history, we could have UFO evidence of one of them hitting an airplane. A fighter jet at that. Not just a commercial jet, just lollygagging through the sky with a couple hundred passengers. No. Fighter jet. Those. And they've got weapons. Yeah. How many people believe in this chat room and watching on the replay? How many people believe we'll see the video? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe we'll never see the video. There has to be. There's radar. I guarantee it. And here we are. Transparency not. What is going on, man? So in 2023, this jet gets hit by a sphere, a glowing orange sphere. So bad it grounded them. The canopy's cracked. Can't use the plane again. Well, so they fixed it. That's the evidence we want to see, isn't it? That right there is the evidence that would separate drones from UFOs, in my opinion. They can't show us. Why? I don't know. This is a strange one because what if it is China showing off their skills? I don't know. What if it's domestic terrorism? It's one of our own working from the inside to dismantle America one by one, by piece. Those people are all over. I met one of them. He told me to arm up and wait. I don't know what that means to this day. I know what arm up means, but I don't know. Wait. There's a signal? There's going to be a bat signal for me to wait for? Just arm up and wait. That's how you do it. Okay. Okay. All right. Terrible. Pretty amazing. There's a scary thing going on right now, and I want to bring it to your attention. There's people who have been invited to a channel they've never subbed to. Have you ever heard of it? Have you ever heard of this? Yeah, they're getting YouTube notifications from a channel they've never subscribed. No promo, no ads. Just cryptic videos, strange codes, and a tweet. And it reads, "You are here for a reason. You are one of them. Find us." Let's play it. I'll show you. 30 seconds. I don't know if this is going to make bugs crawl out of our necks, like in the movie Halloween 3. I don't know if we need to put glasses on, but, here it is. It goes.
And the waves tell of ancient harmonies. Those who know how to listen do not seek answers, but understand that every question is merely a reflection of a larger circle. The seal is not traced by human hands, but by the eternal laws that govern the universe. In the triangle, in the square, in the circle, lies the truth. The perfect form is not merely a geometric construction, but the very language of the infinite.
Did you see it? The face. It gave me instructions, but not for today. That was weird. I guess it didn't do anything. All right. A UFO landing took place in Australia. Have you heard about this? Yeah, me too. Where was it? I'm sorry. Did I say Australia? It's Argentina. You got to see this. Now, I'm not so sure if these people know what they're talking about. I'm not so sure what we're looking at. Can you believe it? I don't know what to say. You're going to have to make up your own minds. Go. Scooby.
Objeto no identificado.
You love me.
Objeto no identificado.
You love me.
Anybody? You know what it is? I'm going to take a wild guess and say that it's a blimp. Anybody? Yeah, I knew you'd agree. It is a blimp, my peeps. End of story. Thank you. Thank you all for hanging out. Hey, V-Man, how are you? John Smith, good to see you. Dorothy, how are you? Erica Bostic, it is a glider with red lights, with a like a big balloon thing around it. I think they call them blimps. A blimp, is that like a blimpy? Welcome. Donnie Creel, everybody. Hello, Donnie Creel. Good to see you. Truth Entertainment. Teet, teet, teet. Here we go. Now. Hold on. We did talk about Jesus. Him being a prophet. And I don't know if every 7,000 years means something will happen now. I don't think that's now. Because if it were, something's not right. It doesn't match up with what we've been told. 12,500 years ago was when the alleged flood took place, right? That was when the Upper Dryas region, all that stuff happened, the melting of the caps, the big flood. That apparently Earth went through a meteor field or some sort, right? We go through it every, twice a year. This is what I was mentioning before. And this time, some big pieces hit the Earth and bombarded Canada and the North Pole. And it melted the ice. And in the upper part of the United States. All that area. You'll see boulders all the way down in the middle of the United States that came from Canada. Yeah. Pretty amazing. I mean, size of houses. So, and you can see from satellite the images they have, the rippling effect of how water, like you would see on a beach or at a lake or riverbed, you'll see the ripples of water flow. You see it on Mars. We see it in the driest of places once they dry up. It's obvious something happened. Now, 7,000 years ago is too soon. you'd have to go another 5,500 years. Now, if you go from 12,000, if you go from when Jesus, 2,000 years ago, so is it going to be happening when, G? Why would that be important to Jesus at that time? Did something happen? Then that would mean 2,000 years ago something might have happened we don't know about. Or he was predicting 5,000 years ahead. I'm at a loss. Well, then we'd be 3,000 years off where that. So I don't think we have anything to worry about. Jesus. Can you imagine if his name wasn't Jesus? It was Herman. Instead of us going Jesus, we'd be going Herman. Herman Christ. Why does it seem perfect to fit in our language? Jesus. Holy sh. Why does holy sh? Why does that good? And what if it wasn't holy? It's like that song. Unskinny bop 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 bop. Who sang that? Wasn't that Poison? Yeah, Unskinny Bop. One of the worst songs ever to make it a thing, to make it known. All right. What else we got? Yeah, now they said that the video you just watched of the blimp, why would they word it landing in Australia? Wherever the frig, who cares now? Oh my God, I got to show this to you. I'm telling you, man, every day, what is it? 2,000 species die off and another 2,000 are created, right? Something like that. This has got to be the weirdest plant. It's alive, but it's like an animal plant. Yeah, I don't know. Not like a Venus flytrap. This thing's breathing, or so it seems. I don't know. It's a little windy, but you'll see it. Myra Moore's going to tell us. She's the paranormal chick on X. Watch.
Help. Because this is the creepiest alien-looking flower I've ever seen in my life.
Get me out of here.
The video is actually coming out of South America. And
no, get me out.
Hike come across this invasive plant or flower, but it's like pulsating. It looks like something from out of this world. So anybody who knows plants, flowers, please let the rest of us know. Is this real? Is this a real species or is this some sort of hoax? Take a look at this, comment below and tell me what you think.
Wearing the colors of the plant. She and the plant match. Oh my God, that is so bizarre. It looks like it could be a Muppet. Weird. Right? Ugh. Unbelievable. We live on a weird planet. You know? It's so diverse. Is it diverse? There's so much stuff. I mean, this is the weirdest day. There's so... Here, let me pull this up. Hold on. Let me get this. Let me pull this here. Ooh, the Immaculate Constellation. You know, it's a good episode. These guys did good with this Matt Brown, is it, or Mark Brown? Check it out. This is not bad, guys. I mean it. This is so fun. And when I mean that, what do I mean by this is fun? Because we're living in a time where we're seeing a lot of firsts. You know, we're hearing the same story over and over. See, this is what's fun to me. To see who has the best story out of all the whistleblowers. And I think there should be some sort of community competition. Like, we should actually, but it's all subjective. So, you know, everybody's got their own opinion on who they believe. Like Jake Barber. He was the most believable guy until this guy. This guy seems more believable. So who gets the higher grade? This guy. He'd get a 8 out of a 10, and Jake Barber would get a 7 and 7.5. You know, he's that close. So I would like a little rating scale. Maybe I'll come up with some sort of way of rating the whistleblowers in terms of what they said and how important it is to the story, the narrative. Because so far, the winner is David Grush. Because he was the first to come out in the first whistleblower in a congressional hearing in what, 50 years? Ever? So he gets that upper hand. And he also talked about pilots. He didn't say aliens. If you noticed, he chose his words carefully, right? And that was all preparedness before. He had to get approval to say the things. See, this isn't whistleblowing. And this is where David Grush loses marks. He loses points. You could throw Lou Eliganzo into the mix. We all know where he lies now. He's 5 out of a 10. You know, what are you going to do? He's not believable, but we can't prove him wrong. You understand? So that's why it's hard. Very hard. All right. But this guy, something about him. I believe he believes everything he's saying is true. That's why he's saying it so convincingly. And hold on, I'm just getting to where it actually starts again. They do a little preamble. Go.
Other whistleblowers who are still not public yet. Correct. But who are at least close to coming forward. Yes. Is there strength in numbers then in that regard?
Yes, and if all of us die or imprisoned, the seeds have been planted, more will come.
They're always going to come. But guys, we don't want them to keep coming with the same story. We need different stories. Jake Barber had promise until I found out that wasn't his video in the demonstration. So, no evidence, just a story. But a good storyteller, Jake Barber is. Very good. So, anyway, go ahead.
I fly out to California and I meet with Michael Schellenberger.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, hey, I got a story for you. Would you like to chat with me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had met him previously, very briefly, totally something unrelated. And his work on the Twitter files defending, you know, free speech against a very pervasive and insidious censorship regime that our government, even before the Biden administration, had implemented, inspired me that he would do the right thing.
Logical, great choice. You know, that was my...
Hold on. He said even before the Biden administration, which was the Trump administration, but before that for 8 years was the Obama administration with Biden as the vice. I don't know. man, if they had any problems when when they came out, Trump became president when Lou got here. The same exact time, which I find interesting. It's probably just a coincidence. But nonetheless, this guy, I guess he's got his opinions too. I guess he's allowed to think that it wasn't. I'm not saying the Trump administration had anything to do with anything. I'm just saying, hey, in between, these two Trump, there was also the Biden administration and then the Obama administration. And I think those two outweigh the Trump administration at this point because they had 12 years to Trump's 4 and a few months. So whatever happened in ufology with whistleblowers probably didn't have anything to do with the Trump administration. And we know how the Trump administration played with UFOs. They didn't. They didn't. They just let people do whatever they were doing. Really. They didn't stop anybody, it seemed like. But we got the same exact flow of information from one administration to the other. If you haven't noticed, nothing's changed as far as the urgency of getting the information out there, as far as giving us new information or actual evidence. We're still begging for it after all this time. Why? Why the holdup? What? I thought we were, on the cusp. Remember Disclosure, that big party they were having in New York? Oh, that's right. That was for losing. They had a party for Schumer because, you tried and failed. We'll throw a party for the effort. That's just like them to waste money.
My hope is to have a lot of journalists working on this from different angles who you can trust, who are honest.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where your head's at?
Yeah. So we have a good meeting. I show him the document. This has been cleared by state. Yeah. I would prefer to maybe cut it down because it's pretty long.
Right.
But you get to look at it. And are you interested? The answer is yes. We're going to do a story. That's in summer of 24, I believe. Early summer, late spring. So with that in hand and knowing that I had at least tapped Sask and Sissy, thought it was okay to move forward with that story and then try to talk to House with, the full details in the meantime before that story came out. It takes time to vet things. He has to look into me, just, find out who I am, look into the details of what I'm alleging.
I know George and I know the process well.
So it takes months, so I got some time. And in that time, I, for the first time, get connected with David Grush.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very enlightening conversation with him. And at his suggestion, he connected me with you. And that is how we came to meet.
Yeah. And I'm looking not to report on what you're saying initially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to help you achieve the goal that we're all fighting for, which is getting the people asking for it, the information. This doesn't have to be public. It doesn't have to be a public display. This is, let's facilitate these conversations. That's where we started. I'm not really doing journalism work with you. I'm trying to just help the process go. That's how, that was my headspace.
Yeah, I was asking Gresh, I'm having a real hard time, A, meeting members themselves, and B, just even talking to anybody in house. Who's the guy to go to? And it was you.
Okay.
So, that was the nature of our meeting.
George and I have had a great relationship trying to help facilitate information knowledge in human beings for this sort of thing. So it makes sense. It was a good move. We did well. With David Grush, so George and our role oftentimes is to connect people. We are reporters. It is to break stories, tell the news. But really, a lot of what I was personally doing was trying to help facilitate the process they're asking for. At that time, we had a great hearing. David Grush, also Commander Fravor, who had to beg to testify. It was great. It was a success. Everything was clean on that hearing. This was a new thing, a new era. It felt different from the get-go, but the idea was we were going to have another set of hearings. I'm all for that. They tapped me to try to help connect them with people and George. And so we've had many calls through many process. And now I'm out there to have meetings directly about firsthand people with firsthand experience who can directly testify about this, whether they talk publicly or not. This is the information you need. So I go to have these established meetings. You and I meet, do physically, and we talk about it. And you want to come with me, and I can bring you in, but I can't let them know because we're still trying to protect you, trying to protect your identity. So it was kind of like, we'll talk about it more in depth later, but a kind of harrowing experience. You were very nervous. I mean, it was like you're exposing yourself in those meetings.
Absolutely.
Right.
And just by walking into those offices or the buildings those offices are in.
Right.
Very public.
Very public. So we kind of hid you in the camera crews, the way I say it, in that you were walking with us, but and getting into the buildings. But I asked each member, I said, okay, you wanted direct people. I have one here to speak with you. Everybody needs to leave the room, including the cameras. It'll just be us. Is that cool? And each one, although they gave us wisdom along the way as we did our progression of getting you right in front of people to give them your quick testimony and some documentation. So that's what we went through. And we go in, and there you are. You're sitting in front of, and somebody with position. I just want to know, what did that feel like? First of all, that moment where you got to finally get to them.
I mean, in the moment, it just was
business
somber,
as usual.
Serious. Also, nervous. I got like, so it's 5 minutes, but I only have probably like a minute to speak.
Bro, you were sweating. You were stressed. I mean, it was intense.
So getting most important information across, and also establishing my credibility as fast as possible.
And I was making sure you weren't a fucking plant. To be honest, that was part of the process.
Okay. There was a lot to absorb in there, but the gist of it was how they brought him in to meet with somebody who was looking to talk to a whistleblower, to break open a story about what's going on behind the scenes in government, the DOD, the Pentagon, whatever, right? So they bring him into the building. They're hiding him, I guess, trying to distract his face from the cameras. Just put a hat and mask on, Wear a mask. You're allowed to wear a mask. I'm not saying just put on a health mask, COVID mask, whatever. So they get him in there, and he's nervous and all that. I guess he's putting... Is he putting his life on the line? I wonder. Is he putting his pension on the line? Why is he so nervous? Jeremy had to point it out. You were so nervous. You were sweating, shaking, whatever. He didn't deny it. He's like, yeah, I was. Why? Because it's this guy, because it's a guy of importance, somebody who will listen to you. And, well, here's my deal. Why didn't Jeremy vet this guy before bringing him anywhere? He's like, oh, I'm glad you weren't a plant. And he isn't. I don't know.
This is making sure he'd say the same thing to to Congress, that to members that he said to me. Not that I didn't believe you, and I had done the vetting, and I was there, but I want to hear you say it, show it, so you're not trying to entrap me. I mean, honestly, that's part of my thing. Man, we
trying to entrap him. Boy, oh boy, is he a narcissist, right? Narcissist. Why would a whistleblower go all out of their way? Oh, because there's people out there who lie and fake that they actually have these experiences. Oh. But Jeremy was so confident, he vetted. He's just said it. So what is he nervous about? My God, I tell you what. People that are this nervous have something to hide, or they're not doing something on the up and up. That's the only reason you would be nervous like this. I don't get it. I get why the other guy would be nervous. Oh, yeah, he's putting his whole career on the line, his pension, his who knows what else. So far, they don't know what he's going to say. He could say a lot more than what he told Jeremy to this person.
We got through that, didn't we?
It did.
Yeah.
It worked well.
It did.
Mm-hmm. So
But
you
it
come
worked
out
out.
of that thinking, okay, all right, this is good. I made contact. We'll see where it goes.
Multiple, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty strong.
Yeah. I mean, at this point in time, I'm very, actually, skeptical is not the right word. I did not believe that this would work in Congress, but I knew that the attempt had to be made.
We had to try.
You had to try.
You have to.
I knew that I alone wasn't big enough or important enough to shift the tides of history there, to shift what apparently the executive branch had decided, which was we are going to squash this, and anybody that tries to bring it up, we are going to,
Deny it.
silence, cut out, and disparage.
They were asking for whistleblowers. And there we are. And he is blowing the whistle on this. And that's what they were asking for. So for me, it was a big win for them to meet you face to face. Because I knew down the line, if this was going to progress, look, you would have testified. Let's get real clear on this. They were asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
You would have testified. You were not asking to testify. You're saying, here's the little piece that I have. But you said in that room that you would if requested.
I would if asked, and I did not want to do it at the upcoming hearing.
Of course.
Because that was very close, and I in no way felt ready to do that.
But you put the ball in their court. I did. You said you would. They didn't ask, right? And we got to, there's a whole thing about that. But just you really put it out there.
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
I really don't get it. Because he hasn't said anything that hasn't already been heard. So why is he so darn nervous? It makes me wonder. It really does. If everything we're seeing here is an act. It's stupid to think it. The only reason I think that, because nothing else is making sense. Really. There's no evidence. This guy just talks. There's no evidence. He sounds legit. There's no evidence. He tells a good story. There's no evidence. Let's move up a little. I'm a little bored.
Thing would functionally change, but what mattered was, adding new fuel to the fire to what looked like was a dying cause.
Is there blowback for you personally? Does anybody call you and say you shouldn't have done that, or does somebody figure out who you are? Is there an attempt to identify who you are?
I'm sure there were attempts, and I'm sure some of them were successful, but I've been known to internal security undoubtedly since almost day one.
Here's the deal. People misunderstand because it was misrepresented in Congress. This is not a Pentagon paper, a product.
Yeah.
You are the author of what the world knows as the Immaculate Constellation Report. This is a report based upon a field report, based upon your investigation, what you've discovered, trying to do the right thing, bringing it to the people that need to see it because it was so hard, even though they're asking for you, to get it to them. So just to be really clear fundamentally for people, Immaculate Constellation Report, what was submitted into Congress onto congressional record, which we fought together to get that done, is your words. It's not some government Pentagon report like it was misrepresented by Nancy Mason Congress.
Not at all.
He's still on that Nancy Mace mistake. Unbelievable. When she accidentally gave the other guy credit for the report, not Corbell. God, he won't let that go. He thought that was done on purpose.
All my words, 100% authored by me.
One of the striking things for me in kind of talking with you through this process, but also just reading the final report that went on to congressional record, you list and label cuboid formation of metallic orbs. These are UFOs, right? So fast mover observed transiting over sensitive facilities. Intelligence vessels positioned to collect on reproduction vehicle. Equilateral triangle UAP tails unwitting vessel. This one struck me.
Mm-hmm.
Large disk using clouds as concealment. And why that struck me.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, why am I so excited about that? I'm not. When people, okay. Over the years, we hear people make claims that they think they know what the UFOs are doing. Oh, look, he's looking for something. It's scanning for something. It looks like it understands us. It's communicating with us. Oh, I bet it can hear us. Now, they make all these claims and none of it matches, right? One of the biggest claims people made were how UFOs are using clouds to hide in. What they forget is that unless it's in the cloud, like in it, and moving with the cloud in the wind at the same speed, then I would say, yeah, that seems like something they're doing. But that's not the case here. Clouds, I'm going to show you what they think. Right? Clouds. Here, let me make it big. Gross. Clouds, right? Clouds in the distance, right? And then the UFO, not in the cloud, but behind it. Oh, it's peeking. Oh, look, it's peeking around. It's hiding behind the clouds. What they forget is that there's a whole other world on the other side. You know, unless it's in the cloud, and that's not what we see when people make this claim. When people make this claim, they're talking about UFOs using clouds to hide behind. To behind, not in. Behind. So they know the intentions of the UFOs. That's what this guy's saying. We know the intentions. He's not saying it verbally, but that's what he's telling you. They know the intentions of the UFOs. And they're using clouds to hide. Stupid as the day is long. You know why? Because they don't need clouds. And that is one of the excuses that an amateur UFO person would say. That is so level zero. Like, you don't even have any training in ufology if you think that. Hold on now. What he's saying, there have been and are incidences where UFOs use clouds to hide. Yeah, they have. Mm-hmm. In the movies. Nobody knows the intent of a UFO. You're only speculating, you're guessing because it looks that way. But not everything is what it seems, and you can't have the brain. If it was a human in that UFO, maybe I would believe it. But an alien? Now we know how aliens process thought? Come on. It doesn't work in my book. So right there, with this being used as an excuse to, well, they can't see the UFOs because they use cloud, that right there is telling me something is wrong with this story. All right, let's keep moving.
Is because George and I have been exposed to a lot over the years. And I think I know, and other people know, what you're referencing in here. It sounds like you watched a video. You said on U.S. government networks there exist OPIR footage. What is it?
Overhead persistent infrared. That might be a correction. That satellite may not have been an OPR satellite after all.
But this one, and you keep going on, a boomerang shaped, jellyfish shaped, tic tac shaped. You're not just making these words up. Like, you saw visual evidence of these.
Yeah.
And so did have George Knapp and I. We have been exposed to, along the years, a lot of visual evidence. But this one, the large disc in the clouds, just explain to me seeing something like that.
Well, number one, it's pretty striking because you're watching it from Sphinx. It's always cool to watch satellite feeds. And that's just something the general public doesn't get to see. And then, two, just the size of it, it was immediately like, whoa, what the hell is that? It was in, I assume, infrared, black hot for that one. So the white clouds around it. And yeah, it's almost playful in its activities, or like it was startled. But it's one of those cases where I look at it and, it looks like a flying saucer, but it might be one of the things that maybe that was actually one of ours. In the wrong place at the wrong time.
What do you mean it looks startled? What does that mean?
It's just looking at an area over the ocean is what it appears. And this thing just comes trundling along from like underneath the cloud cover, comes up. And then right when it's like almost center frame, it scoots off to the side and like tries to get out of,
like it comes into it and going, oops, somebody spotted me. I can get out of here.
Exactly. It was visibly, that's the feeling it had.
That was kind of haunting to me. We checked when we were with some friends recently. I never know. We are not qualified to know if some of the things we've been exposed to are legitimate or not. But when I get confirmations like you describing this and other people we've just recently talked to, I know that footage exists. We've been exposed to it. And I think that's a nice piece to the puzzle for the public.
What about jellyfish?
Yeah, so I only heard that term once it was released. It's similar stuff that I had seen on the inside, and it was often labeled like a floating brain or an organic or irregular shape, so that's why it's in there.
So cute. Aren't they cute?
So yeah, I've seen multiple instances of irregular shaped things that look thematically similar to the jellyfish. I've never seen the jellyfish video itself. But seeing those, there's an instance of one in Southcom, right at our border, crossing what appears to be into United States airspace.
Let me get clear.
Undetected.
From Mexico?
I believe from one way or another. I can't recall the compass orientation right now, but I would assume into the U.S., which is why it was interesting.
Let me get clear on a couple of things. Well, first of all, people like yourself, it's happened with Lazar, happened with Greg, like every word you say, you're worried about if your memory isn't perfect, this sort of, you've done a great job of really curating, making sure what you said is accurate. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to like not remember the exact equipment that did this or that in your brain. Just so, so you're saying the word jellyfish.
Did you see what I saw? When Jeremy was telling him not to worry about making a mistake, did you see how he was watching Jeremy's hands? Look how weird this is.
Right at our border, crossing what appears to be into United States airspace.
Let me get clear.
Undetected.
From Mexico?
I believe from one way or another. I can't recall the compass orientation right now, but into the U.S., which is...
People like yourself, it's happened with Lazar, happened with Greg, like every word you say, you're worried about if your memory isn't perfect, this sort of, you've done a great job of really curating, making sure what you said is accurate. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to like not remember the exact equipment that did this or that in your brain.
Transfixed.
So you're saying the word jellyfish, you first heard kind of when George and I released that thing into the public media, jellyfish, although it was described differently for different assets you've seen on servers.
That term was describing something I had seen before.
Okay. But we just called it jellyfish because that's what it was told to us. They had two. Spaghetti monster was our other option. It was said that jellyfish works, but that morphology or shape is something that consistently you had seen within these classified servers.
Yes, in other contexts outside of the Middle East.
Okay.
All right. Don't you think it's weird that out of nowhere 2 years ago or so, the jellyfish video makes its first appearance, right? And now we've seen a dozen or so, right? Why? Why didn't we see them before Corbell showed us the jellyfish? I've never seen it. I've seen similar. I've seen balloons that look, but jellyfish videos, the real jellyfish ones, not ones that are balloons, but ones that don't look, I don't know, they look like they're balloons, but they don't act like them. The ones that are, stiff, they don't move, they don't wave in the breeze, they don't wobble. It's weird. It's really weird. Makes you wonder. All right, we can go on and listen to this guy all day, but that would be kind of boring at this point. Even though I like it, I don't think it's boring. I don't, but it's time to go. And I want to thank everybody. Well, we'll continue next time. But Thursday, Jon Stewart will be here. Yeah. Whistleblower. And Lou Eleganzo, Truther. I can't wait. God, that's going to be so much fun for me. I hope you guys are here for that. Tomorrow on Rich Saves America, Nathan will be a guest for about 30 minutes talking about his arrest, whether it was an unlawful arrest or did he get what he deserved. It doesn't seem that way, but I haven't seen the evidence yet, and I'm excited to go over all this with you guys tomorrow night at 7 on RSA. Thank you, moderators and super chatters and new members. Thank you for becoming a part of GUFON and help supporting the show one way or another. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you guys can, do yourselves a favor. Because if you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out for ufology. So look up. Every now and then. Get away from the phone and take a look at the sky. My God. Maybe that should be it. Get away from the phone and look at the sky. You might see something that's not on the phone. Oh, that's good. I like that. All right. And what else? That's it? That's it. Yeah. Oh, and we do truthology for ufology. We do it for you. That's true. All right. Thanks again, everybody. And be good to each other, huh? You're almost halfway done with the week. Let's make it to the weekend. Have a good time, shall we? It's going to be a good weekend. All right. Be careful out there. Alien bless.